Hello everyone and welcome back to Manor Lords, a medieval strategy city building game with a real-time strategy element to it. In the last episode, we were able to take on a band of raiders and we were able to fend them off so that their dirty scum wouldn't destroy our town. But in this episode, we're gonna try to get our town building up to snuff and get our economy rolling. So if that's something that you're into, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe for more Manor Lords. So the first thing we really need to get going is our church. That way we can get our burgage plots upgraded because they need a church and a supply of clothing. We also need some more people because we just don't have enough people to populate all the jobs that we got going on. Our tannery has been sitting over here and it's been empty of people the whole time. Because right now, all we have in our marketplace is a firewood stall, an additional firewood stall, and a food stall. So we have to get this going. We have to get our tannery going, our burgage plots built up, and some trading going as soon as possible. Because the only way that we're going to make some money is not by selling planks alone. We're going to have to go into some of these crafting materials and get some of them out of here as soon as possible. Now we have quite a few hides, but I really want to turn those into leathers because leathers net us a lot more money. And since we're kind of rolling in it a little bit right now, I think we'll be pretty good to go. At the same time, we're going to keep our watchful eye out here for any bandit camps that come up that we can just run over and take out in a hurry. I'd like to get some of our burgage plots upgraded to level 2. That way we can get some of the Fletcher's workshops going and get some bow and arrows, because that really helps out. The last patch really buffed all of the archers and it does help out. But for that, we're going to need a lot more houses, and I've come to a conclusion. Building on this hill, yeah, that kind of sucks. Building on this hill was a very, very big mistake. There is very limited space, so we're going to start concentrating on building more towards the King's Road here and getting all of this area filled in with burgages. Now, we have quite a few right here that are trying to get built, and most of our houses either have someone in them or have been upgraded to a point that I can't go any farther and have maximum amount of people in them. The main thing is that we have these burgage plots that are up here. They're going to be our artisans. All of these guys are going to be our artisans. As soon as they get upgraded, that's all we're going to need. And then everybody else can have some kind of farm plot in the back. We're going to be real careful about how we spend our points here, but apples are definitely viable and probably going to have to go into the charcoal burning and deep mining and maybe even some trade logistics. Now, I believe it's 6 points is the maximum that you can have. So if we do these two plus these two, that leaves us 2 more. And if we focus on farming here, we can kind of go this heavy plow and fertilization, because the fertilization, I kind of found out that it's pretty powerful, and I'll explain why here in a little bit. All right, so the church is what we need, so we're going to maximize that priority. We're going to make it the most important building in here, and we're going to wait for it to be built. I don't think we really need to work on anything else except for this church. And then we'll focus on getting some more people in and get this tannery up and rolling. So hopefully, while the church is being built, we'll get some new families, and then we'll be able to populate that tannery. It's a fine looking church. It's a wonderful church. And now with our church level completed, all we have to worry about is the clothing stall supply. And that's just leather. So let's get some leather going, because while we were building our church, we gained a family. I'm so popular. People want to move into my city. So we'll go ahead and select the tannery here and add a person to it. And that's that. And we can start getting going on most of our other burgage plots now. So we'll build up a few more houses as well as these over here and probably get some vegetable gardens in these. And then, like I said, these are going to be our artisan ones. So we just need to upgrade them and get them going as soon as possible. As well as we may even try to lay out a few more houses in this area here, close enough to our market. And we can also build a makeshift market here so that it's closer to these burgage plots that we're going to build. So since we want to build the town and expand it out this way, I think what we'll do is we'll save this spot right here for more marketplaces. I wanted to build another burgage plot here, but I think we'll have enough artisans as it is right here. So I think what we'll do is we'll start a road that leads right across here, connects there, and we'll build that. And then we can have big burgage plots here, kind of expanding out this way. And then maybe we'll continue this road, maybe at an angle or something, and then curve it back in and have a lot more burgage plots with big vegetable fields around here. So with that being said, I think I just want to let this thing fill out and get a lot more stuff going on. And that way we can get more of the burgage plot 2s built. And that means that we can build the next settlement level and kind of maybe even use some of our production points or development points. So while we were waiting for these 2 burgage plots to finish up, 3 major things happened. We gained a family and a bandit camp was sighted, as well as Lord Grumpy Face's army trying to take out my bandit camp. Are you, sir? Well, you're very far away from them, so I'm a lot closer. We're gonna go take these guys down. Now we don't have any bow and arrows yet, but we'll go ahead and gather up our troops just the same and run after them as quickly as we possibly can. Now the idea is to keep them out of your home village. So I think I'm going to rally them here and we're going to have them not run until we absolutely have to. Now I'm going to run as fast at them as I possibly can, putting my retinue right up front and my spearmen in the back. Now, fighting in the trees is a huge disadvantage for our army, so we're gonna do our best to let these guys just crawl up here and get as close as we can without really aggroing them, and then we'll kind of focus on tactics here in a minute, and hopefully it won't take them too long to get there. So we've aggroed the outlaws and we need to get ourselves prepared. So we're at, like I said, a humongous disadvantage, but we're going to put these guys up front. We're going to put our heavy infantry up front, and then we'll put our spearmen kind of in the back like so. And then we'll bring them up to tackle these guys once the retinue have been kind of tank what massive damage that they're about to deal out to us. All right, so the battle for Robin Hood here is going down, and let's see how our troops do. Let's get real close into the battle. And then we'll bring these guys in and have them push forward and maybe take these bandits down. It is really hard to see in here. We got trees in our way. Oh, they're doing pretty good. They're down to 12, 11. Let's tell our retinue to push forward. Hopefully it'll push them back a little bit. Yes, they're broken. And since our spearmen are much faster, we will put them on run and we will go straight for the bandit camp. And we get there long before Lord Grumpy Face gets there and claim the spoils for my treasury. Plus, that'll help us combat any bandits that come up in the near future. All right. And as far as bandit camps go, I believe that's all of them. So we need to let our troops go home and rest up. All right, so the last of our burgage plots are in, but we still need a clothing stall, and we still have these 2 firewood stalls. I'm gonna keep this one here for now, but I'm probably gonna move it in the near future up here with the rest of our new market. So with that being said, the quickest and easiest way to get a market stall that you want is to do it like so. Take out everybody that you don't have already in a market, as well as over here. Leave 1 market stall open, and then come into your marketplace and build a big enough spot for just 1 stall. That's it. And then hopefully not get a firewood stall. And just keep trying this, and eventually you'll get what you want. Well, it took a couple tries, but I got the clothing stall right here. And what I'm probably going to do is move this one to a different location and move this clothing stall right here. So the easiest way that I know to do that is to make another market and place that one on there while the game is paused, and it won't ask to put another market in. So we'll go ahead, and since we know we're going to be using this later for market area, we'll just go ahead and put it right there. We will pick this one up, move it to here, pick this one up, move it to here, if it'll let me. It should let me. Oh no, there's supplies there. It's definitely not going to let me. So we'll get those supplies picked up, and then we'll put that stall there. All right, so we got rid of the supplies, and now we're going to move this stall over here. Really? Too steep to build, but you have something there. Oh my gosh. This game sometimes. Don't destroy it. Maybe if we turn it a bit, turn it again, have it face another direction. Well, I guess that means there's going to be no more stalls there, but that's okay. We could deal with our clothing stall being right here. If we really wanted to, we could move it up here, I guess, and do something like this with the game paused. I guess I could try that. No, still too steep to build. So it's not going to build it there, and we're going to end up with an extra market here somewhere. I don't know. That sucks. This hill, yeah, this was a great idea, but this is not going to work in the long term. I moved the other firewood stall over here, and we'll probably have to make some more market here in the near future just to get another clothing stall and a food stall over on this side. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and repopulate our market here and let that kind of do its thing. Oh boy, it took a lot of finagling, but I finally got what I wanted in each section. So a food stall, clothing stall, and a firewood stall is up here in the north side of town. And then down here on the southern side of town, we have another firewood stall and another food stall. They started building on top of each other, and because I moved the one over here and then it built 2 on the same spot, which I don't know, I guess it's a space saver, but it didn't look very good. But I finally got it. And now that's all the marketplaces that we currently need. So now I can start populating these with more people to go gather said supplies. And families are moving in left and right. So the more families that I can put into these, the better, because this has the longest distance. This gets plenty of vegetables and berries. It doesn't seem to be having any trouble keeping up. But the large storehouse, yeah, we'll probably dedicate in a single storehouse to just gathering firewood here in the near future, because I've found that that definitely comes in handy when you're trying to supply to the markets and keep all the houses nice and warm and toasty for the winter. So now the burgage plots are starting to fill up and we need some more space. I think it's time to really start mapping out the next little phase of our building on this side. And what I'm thinking about doing is kind of stretching this road out and maybe at an angle of sorts and making sure that we have a decent sized burgage plots here for more vegetables, and then we can have all this space saved for more burgage plots with even more vegetables, because vegetables are totally overpowered. So with this all laid out, now I think it's time to just lay out some houses. So some of these houses will be more made for chickens and goats, but I want to be able to keep this road as a cut through, just because as well, I do want to be able to put another storage lot right there. And that way everything is nice and close so that I could definitely supply all of the firewood and everything that I need to all these markets. And if only I had enough construction goods to do said fun thing. Oh boy, what's going on with our log production? Is our salt pit taking too much? Yeah, we're gonna have to increase that. It is our only source of revenue, but we need to get some of these logs cut for construction. So we'll probably take the guy out of the salt pit for now and double up the log production. That way we can, you know, deforest our land. All right, now that winter is upon us and we've been letting our guys triple up here and take down a bunch of the trees, I think it's time to lay out some more burgage plots to get some more people in our town. So like I said before, it's gonna be right here, and I want to try to put in as many double houses in this area as I can, but I want to utilize this space in a way that kind of makes sense. So we'll probably start with like this many, go about to there, and then subtract until we get a reasonable amount of people, and then adjust the edges as we need them, because I want to get a decent amount of people in here. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous, but pretty awesome. But I want each house to have a double family slot. That way we can, you know, get as much out of this as we possibly can. Okay, so I think that's a decent amount of houses, and I believe that every one of them had a, you know, upgradable slot with it. And this will probably keep our people pretty happy for the little bit. I may even throw in this weird kind of space here, another little market. It's not too far away, and I think we can manage it, especially for firewood. Like I said, we need a separate place to hold all the firewoods. And I think I'm gonna put a small storage right here and probably not upgrade it. In my testing on the side, it's a good idea to just have one dedicated place for, you know, things like firewood. It seemed to work out. I don't know. The game gets updated almost constantly. So when I test on my maps and then I come and play it in real life, it never seems to work out the way I intend. Now, as much in real life as it's probably not a good thing, we can get some of these burgage plots up to level 2, and I want to do it. I want to get these guys rolling and get our next development point as soon as possible. I also want to get some of these artisans going. Now, I know I want one at least for things like the bow and arrows. I also want another one to make shoes from our leather. And that's not going to be too difficult to do. We've got money to do it now, but we just don't have the logs to do it. Ugh, I should have thought about that upgrading before. But we need to get some of these upgraded as quick as possible, because we get them to level 3, and for each spot in each house, we get an additional family that can move in. Meaning that these 2 burgage plots, they can have 4 families living in them. So that's why it's a huge advantage to have these expanded living spaces. And that was kind of the reason why we did that to begin with. So every expanded living space can basically make this burgage plot hold 2 families. And then when we upgrade it to burgage plot level 3, it can hold 4 families. Huge advantage. Had no idea that that's the way it worked the first time I played the game. Man, I love the way these assets look, and to think that one person has created the majority of this game, it's unbelievable. But that gives us our next settlement level increase. So we got our 2 burgage plots here, and that gives us a new development point to use however it is that we want. But like I said, we're gonna hold on to it just a bit longer, because we're probably going to go down more the agricultural side of things and then worry about trade logistics as well. And the reason I say that is we really don't have anything else in this place other than stone, and I don't think you put a mine on stone. I'm pretty certain you don't put a mine on stone. And we're going to have a very limited amount of iron, so if we want weapons, we're going to have to import all that either raw iron or iron ingots to make into whatever we want. So the trade logistics, that's probably going to be the thing we need the most. And I might even think about bringing that trade center a lot closer to town because of that. Maybe even putting a bit of industrial here on this outer edge, moving a lot of our iron making right here. So we're just going to be waiting for the majority of these burgage plots to be built up and get more families and assign them to things that we need them to do, such as gathering food and gathering our supplies. I mean, we have maxed out this large warehouse, but we're pretty soon, we're gonna be having one done, and it's gonna have all of our firewood in it. So if you wanna set something to not take in a good, if you go to the advanced tab here and you find the material that you're looking for, all you have to do is click on it, and they won't gather the firewood to that place anymore. Now, I don't want that to happen right now, but pretty soon in the near future, we definitely need to do that. Oh boy, another bandit camp was sighted, and we need to go take them down. Oh boy, it's on the edge of our lands too, so we're gonna have to come in through the side here and up. That way we don't have any bad things happen on our land. Because when you do that, the people don't get very happy, and they're really grumpy when their own people die in their own land. And then you got to set up a corpse pit and all that stuff, and it's just no fun. No fun indeed. So what I think about doing is I'm going to rally our troops right to here, and I'm going to tell both of them not to run and come over here and just line up. What? Why are they coming from way over there? That seems like a terrible idea, and the bandits will probably see them. Let's have them go right there for now. I thought they would come from my manor. Another army started. Oh boy. Let's see if they'll come from that direction now. Yes. Okay. Excellent. And so my thought is we'll probably in this clearing try to take out these bandits. Try to coax them up to, I don't know, right about here. And then have them kind of come straight at us. And then we'll take them down. Okay. Once again, our army is in place. And I think we'll just try to go to at least there. And bring again our spear militia right up there next to him. And that way we can coax them out, hopefully before good old Lord Grumpy Pants' people get here. They can just go away for all I care. All right, so we have aggroed them. Let's slow the game down so we don't lose any troops. We'll bring them up a little bit closer here. I think we can get into this nice big clearing area. And that way we can try to do our best to take these guys down and maybe even try to flank them a little bit with our spear militia. We'll put everybody on defense for now, but we'll push forward here in a minute. All right, here they come. Let's see if we can't take them down a second time. Get him! Stab him! Hit him with the head! Poke him! Poke him with your long stick! Go get him, boys! Push forward! Your king, your manor lord, commands it. Break them! Take them down to their knees! Atta boys! All right, let's run. Run to the camp. Grab the spoils of our war. And you guys can just go right there and go home. There we go. A new message. Fantastic. And I think I'm going to let this one probably be the last one that goes to my treasury. Seeing as our regional wealth seems to be doing pretty good with all those planks that we're selling, but that's only going to last for the short term. I need to get some of my own personal wealth going because jingle jangle, I love the sound of coins. All right, so now we have all of our burgage plots built and we still have quite a bit of space for more people. I mean, we still have 6 more of these that can be moved into. They don't even have people in them. And most of these can take another family as well. So you're talking about a ton of potential family. So we currently have 30 families that are in our village ready to work with 2 unassigned. Now, I went ahead and took the liberty and started upgrading this plot to a Fletcher shop. Now, when you do that, it takes away from your unassigned families, your families that are free to work, and it puts them as the artisan for that shop, which is, you know, makes a lot of sense now that they're doing something at home. With that Fletcher shop, though, we definitely needed more wood. So what I've done is thrown down an additional forester's hut and put it as an overlapping kind of area right here. So that way the 2 forester's huts overlap this massive area and are going to plant all the trees in these 2 areas. The logging camp will keep its person and it has a very large area to take out most of these trees as well. And if I need to, I can swap it back and forth between these 2 forests and it won't be too big of a deal. The next thing is I've got a person working full time here in our saw pit, and I'm keeping the construction reserve at 10. Lastly, here in the trading post, I moved our planks up to 40. Anything over 40 and they'll export it. And the reason I did that is because I need those planks to make the war bows. Now, when I start making too many war bows and I have way more than I need for my army, there's 2 things that I can do with them. The one thing being the most important, selling them. It's an expensive trade route to establish, but man, the payout is good. Now, I've done a lot of research in the background to see which of these items in the entire trading post is the most profitable, and I bet you'd be surprised by the top 3. Without any doubt, the plate armor is definitely the best payout. It gives you a ton of money. We're talking somewhere in the 22 to 24 range, just depending on if the trade is up or down. The next is sidearms, and they pay out really well. And the reason is you don't need a lot of iron to make the sidearms, so it's just a 1-to-1 thing, and they produce them pretty quickly. The next best payout is actually war bows. Now, it doesn't give you the most amount of money, but it takes the least amount of resources to produce it. Pole arms actually give you more, but the thing is, it takes iron and it takes wood. So it's 2 different things that you have to produce to make the pole arms. They're more profitable, but in the long term, it's just takes more families and more people doing things when you could use them to, I don't know, build farms and make more resources and things of that nature. So we will be selling all 3 of those as soon as we possibly can. They're expensive to open, like I said, but they're totally worth the payout. And we already made 2 war bows. Once our Fletcher here really starts getting everything it needs, he's pretty quick to get things produced. Now, I'll never upgrade this because upgrading it to a level 3 puts another family in there, but not a family that I can use. So once my artisans are a level 2, I tend to never, ever upgrade them to a level 3. I made that mistake in one of my playthroughs and I kind of hosed myself. So that's a tip that I would give anybody who's playing this game, is to not upgrade any of your artisans past a level 2. I just don't see the need for it. Yes, it gives you more money in revenue, but I don't see the benefit when I don't get to utilize that family that moves in at the level 3 house. So the last thing that I would like to do is go ahead and upgrade this burgage plot here to a level 2 to get our shoemaker up and going. The reason being is our tavern supply, that's going to be difficult to get as we really can't grow barley here. So we can't get the malts, and that's going to have to be something we either import or figure out a different way of doing. It's never a good time. The church level 2, that's pretty easy. We just got to harvest a little bit of the clay that we have, and that's going to be it. The food stall, well, that's probably the next problem that we're going to have to address. That's going to be probably getting some of that emmer going so that we can make some bread. The lastly is the clothing supply. The clothing supply is the reason I want to make this guy into a shoemaker, because shoes, clothes, and cloaks are the 3 things that we can provide, and that'll give us happier burgage plots. Now, trying to get emmer so that we could feed our people the bread, well, it's going to be difficult as there is really no good fertility in our area. We only have 2 real viable spots because they're close enough to us that it's not going to cause us a problem. And unless I want to go try to take on another settlement this early in the game, it's not really a good idea. And I like to keep these lands open so that we can have as many bandit camps and get our treasury where we want it. But I know in the beginning of this series, I said I didn't understand rye and where it comes from, but I made a recent discovery. Right up here under rye cultivation, it's actually something that you unlock, but you have to take the orchard path to get it. So it's very good because rye goes everywhere. It's a great crop to actually produce, but you had to burn 2 skill points to get to it. And if you do that, well, there's really not too much more that I kind of want. So this may be the viable path, and we may have this giant farm village here. We could also unlock the heavy plows and get that fertilization I was talking about. But if I did that, I'd probably want to get the sheep breeding because those pastures are as big as your fields are, and they can hold a lot of sheep, and I mean 50 plus. So this has to basically be the one we pursue if we do that. Now I could get the rye and just do the heavy plow and be done with it and try to go the more trade logistics way and get that going, or focus more on trapping, berries, and probably advanced skinning or the pelt extraction for more hides, equaling more leather, equaling a higher trade. So those are the things we're going to consider while we try to figure out where we're going to spend our development points. So if you have any suggestions on where we should spend our development points, why don't you leave me a comment in the comment section down below. While you're there, there's 2 links in the description. One is for Patreon, where you could support me, and support on Patreon gets you a credit at the end of the video. The other one is a link for our Discord, where you can chat with me and other members of the Discord family. But as always, the best way to support is to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you can be alerted of any time any Manor Lords or any other content gets uploaded to the page. Hit one of the buttons at the end of the screen to see what else we've played, and don't forget to keep gaming for the love of games. Bye now.